When most people start up a business, they're not thinking about going bankrupt eventually, but it sure happens more often than people realize. I am so close to retiring, I can almost taste it. And after a whole career in retail, I can tell you one thing for sure. My best stories aren't going to start with something like, wow, just when I thought I'd seen everything, look what happened. No, no, no. My best stories are going to start with, I can't believe they did it again.
My name is Chad Hines, and I've worked for Harrison Jewelers for a year and a half.
My name is Vince Weeb, and I was with this company for 2 years.
Maria Tyler. I worked with the company for 4 years.
I'm Angie Miller, and I was with Harrison Jewelers for about 7 years.
Harrison Jewelers opened way back in 1915 in this very province, so you can imagine the clientele the company built up over that period of time.
I want to say there was close to 50 stores across Canada with roughly 8 to 10 employees per store, which is approximately 500 people working for this company.
The Harrison family, who originally owned the business, was bought out by a company called North Hill Construction. That's right. A construction company took it upon themselves to purchase a jewelry business because why the hell not?
I may have only worked there for a short period of time, but I think it's fair to say that they clearly had no business basically running a business like this. We had Vince, who was my manager at the time, on a daily basis, and getting more and more frustrated with the decisions that they were making.
NHC had no idea how little profit there was in running retail stores. They had no long-term plan for expansion of stores, remodeling, rent. They didn't foresee the downturn in the market. And add to that, they're taking on all this debt thanks to that idiotic decision about the care plan.
The care plan is basically wear and tear on your jewelry items. Every jewelry store has this plan. You need a ring resized, we take care of it. You need a chain replaced, we'll take care of it. You need some links taken out of your bracelet or your watch, we'll take care of it. Of course, if you want this coverage, you do have to pay for the plan.
NHC made it pretty clear that we were to sell the shit out of it. They would actually keep an eye on how many of the plans we had sold, and if they felt it wasn't enough, they would send in the regional manager as a sort of scare tactic to make sure that we were showing people the plans, which obviously we were, but people aren't going to buy the plans unless they're buying something expensive like an engagement ring.
The main difference between Harrison Jewelers' care plan and the competitors were the replacements of missing diamonds. Most jewelry businesses will automatically have a diamond warranty on specific items depending on the price or diamond carat weight, though the diamond warranties cover lost or chipped diamonds. It didn't cover metal itself, which is what the care plan did.
NHC thought it would be clever to combine the care plan and the warranty plan together instead of keeping them separate. Every item could be covered. Lost or chipped, diamonds, stones, real or fake. The buildup of replacing these items over the years had grown astronomically.
I remember seeing some of the same people coming in over and over again needing their diamonds fixed. At first I thought it was just due to poor craftsmanship on our goldsmith's part. However, something clicked in my head and I approached Vinny after a couple left to drop off a ring that had a third diamond fall out and asked him, hey, how do we know these people aren't, taking the diamonds out themselves, selling them and just continuing the cycle using the care plan to their advantage? And he said, we don't.
The diamond warranty is like a necessary evil, but as companies try to remain competitive, they end up giving away way more than they make in profits. The real downfall here is a saturated market that suppresses margins and quality for years.
It was August 7th, 2016, when we had an evening staff meeting to discuss some of the changes that were going to be taking place. Vinny even showed us some of the remodeling that they had planned to make the stores look more futuristic. A week later, we got an email from HQ. Due to unforeseen circumstances, Harrison Jewelers will be closing their doors to the public as the company has officially declared bankruptcy. We thank all employees for their loyalty to a business that's been around since 1915.
No one had any idea that this was coming. The look on Vinny's face was one of pure terror.
I remember going in and he was white as a ghost. He was telling me what was about to happen. We weren't able to tell any of our customers until it was, released into the press.
Twice I've worked for companies that have gone bankrupt. Now, the fact that you're losing your job should be the worst part, but the real worst part is when the clientele finds out that you're going belly up.
We were all told we could either get out now, or we could stick it out till the doors close. Just be prepared for the shitstorm that was about to hit us. Most of us needed the job, and we all figured we'd get a decent severance in the end, so we stuck it out. That was a mistake.
2 days after the announcement, I was scheduled to open the store in the morning. When I arrived, there was a sea of people waiting at the door. Well, call me paranoid, but I made sure that there was security in the area because I was afraid that they might try to barge in as I was opening the store.
There wasn't even a single moment of peace that we had. If it wasn't for people in the store, the phone would be continuously ringing and we would get confused and angry customers. NHC, they were gone with the wind. There was no way of getting in contact with them. And even when the liquidators took control, believe it or not, things got gradually worse.
As the weeks went on, we started to receive emails from stores outside the province to let us know that we should be careful with confrontational customers. One employee was actually assaulted outside the mall because they refused to give a refund on a protection plan that had been purchased 2 years prior to the announcement.
Vinny even recommended that we stop wearing our name tags because some of the staff were getting threatening messages via social media. I mean, these were people that were some of our long-term customers, and they were threatening us because they couldn't get their refunds.
Big guy. I'm talking 300 pounds, 6'4". He's trying to come to terms with the fact that we're going out of business and we can no longer honor his lifetime service policy. He was just so angry. Kept repeating, if my mother was still alive, she'd be so angry. Comes right around the counter, he backs me up against the wall. I thought he was going to take a swing at me.
I remember this one customer entered our store, demanded that we refund him for everything that was purchased over the years. Of course, I told him as politely as I could that we simply couldn't do that. And he proceeded to get in my face and yell at me, called me a bunch of really derogatory things. He was actually asked to leave, but he didn't go quietly. He made sure everyone heard as he walked down the hallway of the mall, yelling that he was going to sue me, my bosses, the mall. And I also happened to work at customer service and I had a shift there later that day, and he must have seen me there because he proceeded to harass me at my desk and was actually asked to leave the mall and eventually banned from the premises, but he still called my desk day after day after day to harass me while I was working. It was actually really scary.
At first, I was sympathetic for our long-term customers, but after the threats started coming in, that quickly changed. I had one woman over the phone tell me that she was glad that we were losing our jobs because we were treating them so poorly. I mean, like, what the hell could we do?
I stopped caring what people were saying to us. This one idiot came in with his ring that he bought 1 year prior, and he was complaining how it was changing color, saying that he was going to go ahead and get his lawyer involved if we didn't do anything for him. Now, I could have told him it was a simple fix, but I was so pissed off at that point, I just said, "What's your lawyer going to do? Your ring was about $250, and the courts were the ones that said that we had to close. Your lawyer isn't going to do shit." He looked at me, taking it all in, and walked out.
Of course, they had no one else to blame, so we, the employees, became the cause of all their problems. I remember driving from home one day. I was listening to the radio. I heard an ad from a jewelry competitor. The guy does all the ads himself, so I recognize his voice. He started to go on about,
The employees at Harrison Jewelers are not abiding by their protection plan, and we think that's just bad for business.
I was like, what business? We're going out of business, you jackass. He would even go on to say,
Come on down to Regalia Diamonds, and we will take over what they refuse to do.
Little did people know that the owner left out important detail. That Regalia would only take over your protection plan if you bought an item over $500.
I told myself, if I ever met the owner of Regalia Diamonds, I'd probably kill the guy because people are coming back to us just irate, thinking we had something to do with that mess.
January 1st rolls around and all Harrison Jewelers were officially closed. We had been given our severance checks and had gone on our merry way. About a month later, we find out that a new jewelry business called Flaw had taken over the stores across the country, but only had left 25% of them open.
We were told that this had actually been in the works for a while. They just decided to keep it a secret until now, which was, I suppose, a good move on their part, because they were actually able to get back a bunch of clientele that they had lost to Regalia. Some customers even sold their old jewelry in order to buy some of the new product line.
Opening up again after bankruptcy is pretty predictable. Other companies see an opportunity to control more of the market. Bigger companies, well, they want to control the monopoly, so they push the smaller companies out.
Since then, I've always had 2 jobs in place, just in case that one were to close.
Sadly, the jewelry business is slowly dying as people don't really feel the need to express their love and commitment with overpriced fancy stones and metals anymore. Instead of combining larger companies, they really should have looked at hiring out local artists and companies to make more unique pieces that could appeal to a wider variety of ages and demographics. Get away from the traditional that they've always done and try something new.
The only real winner in any of this is the person that inherits the business from the generation that built it from the ground floor up, and then only if they resell the business before having to reinvest in the growth of the company. That way, the person that does the least amount of work with the least amount of risk makes the most amount of the money.